You were sitting in the class, tapping your foot while fingers crossed under the table. The reason behind your nervousness was your professor, who was distributing test results. You're always behind in this subject. No matter how hard you try, you never get results, or maybe you don't try that hard. You were feeling bad this time because you see disappointment in his eyes every time you get low marks. He doesn't say much, but you know he expects you to do better in the subject. You are not only a student but also wife. He is always there to help you, but the thing is, you never try. As Jungkook approached near your desk and extended the answer sheet, you lowered your eyes and slowly took it from his hand, but Jungkook didn't leave it until you looked at him. The look in his eyes was enough for you to know that you didn't do well this time too. I want to see you giving your best at least for once. Handing you your answer sheet, he walked away while you pressed your lips together and looked at your answer sheet. This time you yourself got surprised to see that you scored less than before. Your performance dropped even more. Now you understood why he looked disappointed. You barely got passing mark. I was a little disappointed from you this time. The test wasn't that hard, but your performance dropped as if I took a surprise test. I hope you all will work hard next time, or else get ready to give test for a whole month straight. All the students got scared when he said that. They knew Jungkook do what he says, and if that happened, they won't be able to get rest for one day. Jungkook looked at you, who was still looking in her answer sheet. The look on your face was enough for him to know that this time you were really upset. As the bell rang, Jungkook left the classroom. Mina, your best friend, came near you. How much you got? You looked at her, your face said it all. Hey, are you crying? It's okay, we all got low marks this time. I didn't even score half of what I usually do. A tear left from your eyes as you couldn't able to hold it back. Meena hugged you. Hey, it's okay, we can study for the next test and do better. Don't cry. I'm really disappointing everyone. I'm seriously not good for anything. I wish I could study hard. She broke the hug and cupped your face. It's just one test. Don't downgrade yourself. We all got low marks. We'll prove it next time, okay? Don't cry. You nodded and wiped your tears. Let's go to the canteen. I'll give you a treat today. She just wanted to lift up your mood. She knew that you're genuinely upset, and as a best friend, she can't see you that way. You got up and you both headed towards the canteen. Jungkook knocked on the door and came inside. He was waiting for you to join him for dinner, but you didn't came out of your room from the time you came back from the university. Dinner is ready. You have been locked up in your room from the time you came back. You looked at him. Thanks for making dinner, but I'll eat later. I'm busy. Jungkook noticed the test papers and books open in front of you. He understood that you are trying to improve, and honestly, this made him happy. You have been studying continuously, so take a break, okay? Or else you won't be able to focus. Come on. I'm okay, Jungkook. I had a few snacks, so I'm kinda full. I'll eat when I get hungry. He didn't want to disturb you, so he didn't insist. As you say, but do eat when you get hungry. You nodded. As he was about to leave, you called him. Jungkook. He slowly turned towards you. Yes. You look hesitate to say whatever you wanted to. I'm sorry for disappointing you. I know I let you down every time. Jungkook's eyes softened. He came near you. You haven't let me down, Mayan. In fact, you made me proud by realizing that you can do better. I'm always here to support you. You can do anything if you work hard, and I'm very happy to see that you are trying for it. His words gave you the motivation to do even better. You nodded. This time it's my promise to you that I'll do my best. He smiled and nodded. You will, and you need any help? Just come to me. We'll study together, okay? You nodded. His words gave you motivation to do even better. And don't forget to eat your dinner, okay? He said before leaving the room while you smiled and nodded. As he left, you took a deep breath and again focused on your studies once again. For the next whole week, you threw yourself completely into studying. You wanted to impress him this time, no matter what, but in this process, you were not focusing on your health. You keep avoiding to eat or taking care of yourself. You always threw away the food because you forget to eat and you didn't want Jungkook to notice that. Yeah, aren't you sleeping properly these days? Mina said, noticing your under eye bags. Am I looking horrible? Horrible? You look like a zombie. And what's with your face? It's so lifeless and dull. Aren't you eating properly? Or there's some problem going on in your house? You sighed. There's nothing like that. It's just I'm studying properly these days. Maybe that's why. You said, sipping your coffee as this is the only thing you are surviving on. This doesn't look okay at all. You need to get your checkup done and stop sipping on this coffee. It's your third time this morning. You looked at her. I'll get back to my routine after tomorrow's exam. I've studied a lot this time. I'm going to prove myself. She got up, collecting her books. No need to go that hard on yourself. You'll do great anyways. Now let's go, the class is about to start. You grabbed your laptop and stood up, but you felt everything spinning around you for a second. Yeah, are you okay? She said, grabbing her arm when she noticed you were about to fall back. You came back to your senses and looked at her. Yes, I'm fine. I feel dizzy all of a sudden. You need to go to the doctor. You really need to get a checkup done. You nodded and then both walked towards the classroom. Jungkook entered the room, his presence instantly commanding the attention of the students. He glanced at you briefly, giving a subtle nod before beginning the lecture. Good morning everyone, let's get started. Today we'll be covering some advanced concepts, so please pay close attention. You listened carefully, taking good notes and staying focused. Jungkook's explanation was clear and easy to understand, and you found yourself grasping the material better than before. Throughout the lecture, Jungkook would occasionally look in your way. But he looked a little concerned as well. Today when he left the house, he noticed you left without eating your breakfast, and it is happening from past 2 days. Plus, he noticed some food in the dustbin, so he knew something is off with you, but you're always busy in studying these days. He didn't get to talk to you much. Halfway through the class, Jungkook paused to give the students a moment to review their notes. He walked around the room checking in with various students. When he reached your desk, he leaned in slightly. How's it going? Ryan, are you keeping up? You nodded, managing a small smile. Yes, I'm following along. It's making more sense now. Jungkook gave a slight nod, but his eyes were observing something else. You felt weird but didn't say anything. Good. If you need any help, remember I'm here. Thanks, Jungkook. You said in low tone. He moved on to the next student. Alright, that's it for today. Please make sure to review the material and complete the homework. If anyone needs extra help, I'll be available during office hours. As the students began to pack up and leave, Jungkook approached you once more. Ryan, can I see you for a moment? It was really strange that Jungkook was asking you to talk to him in school hours. You were afraid that he might have noticed, but there's no way you can deny, so you nodded. He walked away while you followed him to his office. Jungkook closed the door behind you and motioned for you to sit down. His office was neat and orderly, a reflection of his meticulous nature. He took a seat behind his desk, his expression a mix of seriousness and concern. Wayne, first I want to say I'm really happy with the progress you are making. I can see that you are working hard and it shows in your understanding of the material. I'm proud of you. You were nervous as why he's saying all this here when you guys can talk at home. Thank you, Jungkook. I'm just trying to do my best. Jungkook nodded. He was looking serious, making you a little nervous. However, there's something else I need to talk to you about. I noticed you didn't touch your breakfast this morning and you skipped dinner last night as well. You shifted uncomfortably in your seat, not meeting his eyes. I just wasn't hungry. Jungkook's expression grew more serious. Wyan, you can't neglect your health for the sake of studying. Skipping meals is not a solution. It's important to eat regularly, especially when you are working so hard. You look down at your hands, feeling a mix of shame and guilt. I know, but I just wanted to do well. I didn't think it was a big deal. Jungkook leaned forward, his voice gentle but firm. It is a big deal, Wyan. Your health is more important than any test score. I want you to succeed, but not at the cost of your well-being. It's good that you are working hard, but that doesn't mean you'll ignore your health. I'll keep that in my mind. I'm sorry, he sighed. You don't have to be sorry. Just don't focus on one thing only. I have been noticing you from past few days and I feel like you're lacking in energy. As he spoke, you started to feel a wave of nausea rising in your stomach. You tried to ignore it, focusing on Jungkook's words, but the feeling grew stronger. You clutched your stomach, hoping it would pass. Wyan, are you okay? You don't look well. You shook your head, struggling to find your voice. I think I'm going to be sick. You finally realize that it's not looking normal because your pain increased every second. Jungkook's eyes widened in alarm. Wyan, oh my god, are you alright? You got up as you felt like vomiting. Jungkook rushed near you. Before you could make it to the washroom, the nausea overwhelmed you. You doubled over and vomited right there in Jungkook's office. To your horror, you saw blood mixed with the vomit. Jungkook's eyes widened in alarm. Wyan, oh my god, are you alright? You collapsed to the floor, feeling weak and dizzy. Jungkook was at your side in an instant, his face filled with panic. Wyan, please stay with me. I'm calling an ambulance. He grabbed his phone and quickly dialed emergency services, explaining the situation with urgency in his voice. As you lay in his arms, your vision started to blur, but you could still hear the concern and fear in his voice. Please hurry up. My wife is very sick. She's vomiting blood. He hung up the phone and looked down at you, his eyes filled with tears. Wyan, stay with me. You're going to be okay. Just keep breathing. You nodded weakly, feeling the darkness closing in. Jungkook's voice was the last thing you heard before everything went black. When you woke up, you were in a hospital bed, the sterile smell of the room filling your nostrils. Machines beeped softly around you and you felt an IV drip in your arm. Jungkook was sitting beside you, holding your hand tightly. His eyes were red and puffy from crying. Wyan, you are awake, thank God. You tried to speak, but your throat was dry. Jungkook quickly poured a glass of water and held it to your lips. You sipped it gratefully, feeling the cool liquid soothe your dry throat. The doctor said you were severely dehydrated and malnourished. You collapsed from exhaustion and stress. Tears filled up in your eyes. I'm so sorry, Jungkook. I didn't mean for this to happen. He was looking very upset and worried. He was blaming himself for not noticing what was happening with you. Wyan, why did you do that to yourself? Why did you push yourself so hard? You took a deep breath, feeling a lump form in your throat. I just wanted to impress you, Jungkook. I wanted you to see that I could do well in your class. Jungkook's expression softened. He sighed and gently held your hand. Wyan, I'm not just your professor, I'm your husband. You mean more to me than any test score or grade. Your health and well-being are what matters most to me. I never want you to push yourself that hard. You could have just take it easy. I feel like all this happened because of me and I failed to take care of you as a husband. You shook your head. You shook your head trying to control your tears. This is all my fault. I ignored everything and thought it would be a better way. I'm sorry, but I'll never repeat this mistake. Please don't blame yourself. I'll be more mindful from now on. Jungkook reached out gently, brushing a tear from your cheek. You don't need to apologize. I understand that you want to do your best, but not at the expense of your health. We'll work through this together. You nodded, feeling a mix of gratitude and relief. I promise, Jungkook, I'll take better care of myself from now on. He smiled softly, squeezing your hand. That's all I ask. We have each other, Ryan. That's what matters most. You're already the best. I just want you to be happy always. You smiled. His words were so comforting and you could feel the unconditional love he has for you. Thank you for being the best husband. I love you. He smiled and brushed a strand of your hair behind your ear. I love you too.